Welcome to Catholic Views. I'm your host, Renee Kranz. On today's show, we will have Father Dwayne Kaiser in the studio. We had him come in to talk about his work as a hospital chaplain at Avera McKinnon Hospital. He's been doing that a couple of years and was a parish priest before that. So we want to hear his experiences and what it's like to be a hospital chaplain. I know Father Kaiser, but I've never done an interview with him, and it was really, really good. I hope you'll stick around for it because he's funny unexpectedly. He's very interesting, insightful, so please stick around for that. First, we have Dr. Chris Bergwald.
What'd you say?
Chris.
Oh yeah, not him.
No T at the end. I did not.
I endeavor to live in him, but and I would love for people. Yeah. Anyway, all right.
All right. So we're gonna have some biblical bites with Doc Dobby.
Great. So I'm hoping to we're going to jump right in. It's the 13th Sunday of Ordinary Time. No time for quizzes because I'd like to get to. I want to do 2 points if we have time. Okay. The first point is from the first reading at Mass, which is from the second book of Kings. A little bit of context here. It's about Elisha. Elisha is the successor of Elijah, the prophet.
I hear that sometimes it's pronounced Elisha.
Yeah, I know.
Is that different? Is that a different person, or is that just the wrong pronunciation?
I used to say Elisha too. I'm pretty sure it's Elisha. Okay. I think the reason I said Elisha is from Elijah. Yes, but I'm pretty sure it's Elijah and Elisha. Okay, so Elijah is the great prophet of the Old Testament. Mm-hmm. Elisha, though, was an incredible. His prayer was for a double portion of the Spirit that the Lord gave Elijah, and he did even more miracles. So he's like the wonder worker of the Old Testament.
Okay.
So we read in Mass, one day Elisha came to Shunem, where there was a woman of influence, and we go on from there. So Elisha is she's wealthy, she has influence, but she does not have a son. So Elisha says, a year from now, you will have a son.
Okay.
But just a quick geography lesson. So, Elise, cue the map. So for those of you who are watching, just to give a sense of where we're at. So this is a modern map of modern day Israel that we've got on the screen. So you can see Jerusalem in the south. In the north, that's the Sea of Galilee, where it says Tiberias. That's where the Sea of Galilee is.
That's bigger than I thought it was going to be.
So that gives you some sort of a rough sense. The lower right, that's 10 miles. So remember, can you see the scale there? Right now? Okay. Mm-hmm. So where Nazareth was and is, and Nazareth didn't come until much later than the time of Elisha.
Okay.
Nazareth there. And Shunem, I just want to give you a sense of Shunem, where it is. It's in the northern part. It's in Galilee. It's in thank you so much for the wonderful circling there, at least. It's in the northern part of the Holy Land. So, but suffices for now. So it's about 11 miles walking distance. It's mountainous terrain a little bit. Not too bad. Southeast of Nazareth. Okay. So this is a time when when the northern 10 tribes had divided from the southern tribes. So it's time of division. The north, bad stuff is going on. But Elisha promises this woman who has much, but not a son, she will have a son. Okay. Now this gets, I do have time therefore, so just a little, thanks Elise for the maps. The gospel though reminds us of the priorities of the gifts that God gives us. So Elisha prophesied that the Lord would, and he did grant this woman a son. But in the gospel, this Sunday, which is from Matthew chapter 10, Jesus says this to his apostles: whoever loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And whoever loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And whoever does not take up his cross and follow after me is not worthy of me. And he goes on from there. And really the connection between the first reading of the gospel is in the later part. But what I want to focus just in the minute or so we have left on these first few verses from the gospel reading today, because Renee, I think we hear them, we've maybe heard them many times, and they just kind of skim over the surface. They go in here and one out the other, partly because they're yes, God's got to be the most important. I know that. But
we want to pretend that's not really, that we don't have to do that thing that he's just saying right there.
I think, and related to that, I think it's easy for us to fail to recognize the ways that, maybe I do put my spouse or my child above God. I think this Sunday's gospel reading is a good invitation for us to check our priorities.
Yeah.
Literally. Okay, I know I need to put God first. And it's not God or.
Right.
It's not, he's not saying you got to pick me and you got to hate everybody else.
Right.
It's not that. But do you love, whoever loves father and mother more than me is not worthy of me. He's got to be first in my life. All these other relationships are great gifts to us, but he has got to have the primacy. So I think just a good check in the way that I live my life. Am I truly prioritizing God as opposed even to spouse or children?
Yeah. And remember to offer those back to God as a gift that they are.
Amen?
Thanks, Dr. B.
You bet.